keeping that power on and sliding it right round the outside. Check the flag at the ready, and it's going to be next element taxi from John White.
I've grown up with cars since I went to my first race meeting when I was 10 days old. Being around the smell and the sound, that's the thing that makes me kind of enjoy cars. Like starting the Mini up, when you smell the fumes off that exhaust, it's like completely different to modern day cars as well. So that the smell, the sound, it makes your senses come alive. So I started racing when I was 12, and I've only recently given it up. So I was racing for around 20 years. But first of all, I started in a Mini. So I started racing at 12 in a Mini. And that first year that I raced, I kind of had like what my stepdad would probably call like a fairly basic car that was, it was really, really good, but it wasn't ever going to win me any, championships, but it was a good starter car. The last car that I had was a Class 9 autograss car, like a buggy kind of format, open wheel racing with a 2-litre Honda in it. Rear engine, rear wheel drive, and reasonably light. Straight line start, all 8 cars set off from the same point to that corner, and you're doing about 90 mile an hour when you enter the 90 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour when you enter the corner. Fast enough when 8 of you side by side open wheel cars, yeah, can get pretty tasty. So the Mini behind me was originally my dad's. I've got a couple of classic Minis, and both of those were his. I had to buy the first one off him, which he made a bit of profit on. But my dad died, and I kind of inherited this car. I bought the pickup off him. So he never saw this one done, but he saw the pickup finished, which was nice, because he'd always wanted to do that himself and then got to a state where he couldn't. I've taken them on and built them up from, well, total restoration really, from right back to bare metal, new panels, etc., all the way up to where it is today, and they're both done. So yeah, it's a nice feeling. I met Ashley at racing, so she raced herself. She used to race a Mini, and then she sold that, or her dad sold that. She stopped when she was pregnant, and then we actually went to Ireland when George was 3 weeks old for the British Series first round. And we didn't think she was going to race, but we all went across on the ferry, and she ended up winning that British Series round in her Mini that weekend. So straight from having a baby 3 weeks prior to winning British Series rounds, which was pretty special.
I was always nervous watching deck racing. I raced myself, and I was always nervous for me to race as well, but surprisingly, if it's possible, even more nervous watching deck. You're right there with them, but obviously it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do, and it's over so quickly. So you have those few minutes of the heart beating and heart racing, and then suddenly it's over, and then it's a big rush to then go and see your partner and say well done and talk to them about it, about what happened, and there's still a big buzz after it's finished as well.
Yeah, that championship season was a difficult one. It started off well, very well, probably too well.
That last meeting, Deck actually didn't feel very well either, and that didn't get in his way. There's literally no stopping him at that point, because you need the points, and it doesn't matter how ill you're feeling, you're going out.
And then as the season went through, it was fairly turbulent. I had the clutch break after 2 races, so I missed out on a full Sunday of points effectively. That was kind of disappointing.
The weather was horrendous, so racing would have been really difficult that weekend.
I think it was the 3rd round I ended up rolling over on the Sunday morning on the 3rd heat, but managed to get the car back out after an effort of about 15 people trying to work on it to get it back out for the rerun. Made the final, scoring some decent points on that day, and it went down to the last race, and fortunately I won the race, which was maximum points, and the person that was in 2nd in the championship finished 4th.
He literally just smashed it, did really, really well, and the feeling that we all had at that moment was unreal. It was, yeah, I mean, I'm quite an emotional person anyways, but yeah, definitely floods of tears at that point, and then loads of people circling around all of us and hugging Deck and hugging myself. But yeah, it was the one he'd been waiting for, and he was, yeah, really pleased to have it. So yeah, I felt really proud.
I've been pretty close a few times, winning a big title. Everyone in my family has pretty much won a big title, like my mum, my stepdad, my sister are all national champions, and I'd not won anything. To finally win something was, yeah, the icing on the cake really. Is what I've been waiting for. It was a decent feeling coming over the line, knowing I'd done as much as I could do. But life just changed, with 2 kids, work commitments, money, classic cars to do. I kind of felt like I'd at least achieved what I wanted to do. It was a big commitment, going away on a Friday night after work, you know, a 4 or 5 hour journey after you finish racing at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night potentially, getting home at 11 with 2 kids and going to work on a Monday's hard craft. The other factor in it was my stepdad was retiring from work and they wanted to go travelling, and he used to maintain the car, tow the car places, always come and look after. I'd have struggled to go on a race weekend without his support, and I knew he had other priorities as well as us, so we had kids, he had retirement, different stages of our life, but it all helped me make that decision to then stop racing. And then I employed him doing the Mini instead. Motorsport has been, you know, a part of my life since I was born. Grew up in and around cars and garages. It's like kind of that phrase, petrol runs through your veins. It's something I'm still passionate about today, and I can't ever imagine not having, you know, a classic car or a racing car, or enjoying even just going to motorsport events, even when I'm 80. If people thought of me, they'd think, oh, you know, that bloke that likes cars, or that bloke that races, you know, or the one with the, you know, that bloke who's got minis. That's, you know, it's my personality. I don't know any different. I'd always like to think I'm, you know, going to have cars in my life right up until the day I die. If I can get taken to my grave or cremation in a cool car, I'll be happy. Take me on the back of the pickup, take me in a Mini, I don't care, but not a boring hearse.